Hey everybody, so today I wanted to talk about a few tricks you could use to boost the DPS of your self-chill Berserker build. Right now I'm using a Lightning Strike self-chill Berserker and it's super fun, but there's a few tricks that I found that they're small changes you can make to get a lot more DPS out of your build. So the first one I want to go over is make sure that you're using your totems correctly. The build I'm using, which came from Ruetoo, which I'll have a link to in the video, recommends that you use two different totems, the Ancestral Protector and War Chief, I believe. One of them gives you 20% attack speed, and the other gives you 30-something% more melee damage. Together, if you have them both active, they give you 41% more melee DPS, which is absolutely insane. If you're fighting a boss, throw them down and it'll melt way faster. I even use them for ultimatums. You can basically just stand in the corner of an ultimatum and just melt everything if you have both of your totems up. So, next, this one may seem obvious to some people, may not to others. It wasn't for me. Getting to level 90 on this build is super critical. I'm used to playing a lot of League starters where your passive tree gives you some damage. You know, you're probably getting 2 to 6% more damage per node. But this build, Ruetoo's self-chill Berserker build, scales incredibly well with the skill points on the tree, much more than any other build I've played. Small passives all grant 5% more DPS, and a lot of the keystones grant 10 to 15 more. Another thing is those skill points for those staves grant crit chance, and you will be getting endurance charges on crit, so the build definitely faces issues with being a bit squishy, so getting more crit chance from your tree will just give you more endurance charges, make you die a lot less. Even with all those nodes, I don't have 100% capped endurance charge uptime, so the more crit, the better for your defenses in this case, as well as your DPS. So, besides that, another really simple, cheap thing to do is make sure you get the Amulet Anoint of Elemental Focus. It's 5 to 7% more DPS, and it's super cheap. It's literally like a chaos orb worth of oils to just throw on there, and you're good to go. So the last two tips I have for more DPS kind of go together. They're both around the theme of single target DPS in this build being really iffy compared to the mapping speed. So if you're struggling with your bossing DPS, there's two things I recommend. First is actually to make sure you get the mid-tier gloves that Ruetoo recommends, which are hunter gloves with your melee attacks strike an additional nearby target. So for mapping, this is basically double DPS. It's actually incredible. It makes the build feel super smooth, so I highly recommend you get that. That's a must-have, honestly. But it also helps your boss DPS in a much subtler way. So when you're fighting a boss with these gloves that let you strike an additional nearby target, there's effectively a way where you can hit the boss with both strikes at once. If you are standing... So, first of all, if you don't know this, the strike itself is a huge portion of your damage. So just standing far away from the boss and trying to hit it with the projectiles will not do enough damage. So you need to be hitting him with the strike itself, which is that vertical lightning bolt that's coming down from the sky. So you want to be close enough to make sure you're hitting him with the strike itself. But you can actually double dip your damage by standing a bit away from the boss, so that your additional strike from your gloves hits him, and your own strike, your normal main strike, hits right in front of you, and the projectiles go out and shotgun the boss as well. So the boss is basically getting hit with the additional strike and your main projectiles. Together, that'll give you something like 25% more DPS. So, if you're doing all those things, I hope that your build is super smooth. It's gotten really great after I found these tips and tricks, and I just wanted to share these with you in case you were having any troubles with this build as well. So, happy blasting, and I'll see you later.